you're spamming a lot, guys. You're spamming a lot, so it becomes really difficult to go all the way down to the chat box. And I'm sorry, there was a technical glitch, and there are a lot of technical glitches that happened in this particular class. So I'm sorry for that. Right now there are almost 921 messages, and every time I open the question and answer dialog box, I need to I need to scroll through all of those 900 or so messages. And as I'm speaking, I can see that there are people still writing, and it's almost 9:45 and counting messages. So if you keep on spamming me, I won't be able to reach the message that you actually want me to answer, which is really sad. Right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm just scrolling. It's never ending. I still haven't reached. Okay. I'm not making the call. I'm making the call to the technical team for your own good. So this is what I'm saying. I don't want any kind of spammers in the chat box. Yeah, all right. The call was being made to the technical team. And please do not spam. I've told you, kindly do not spam. If only you have something important to say, then only write it in the chat box, or else don't. Because like I've told you that when I can just, I'm like one call away from the technical team, and the technical team is right there. Okay, so if you keep on spamming the chat box, then you would have to leave the lecture. So please don't do that. All right. So, what were we talking about? We were talking about, yeah. So, do not watch the film thinking that that will give you an idea about what the text is about, because it is nowhere close. Like, it is close to the text, but it's not that close to the text that you will be able to understand what the text is about, right? And I've seen a lot of students answering their answers, like answering the questions in the exam using material from the film, right? They will use names like Brad Pitt and Eric Bana to talk about Achilles and Hector. So don't do that. Don't do that. I've just given you an idea that, there are these things that you can watch definitely for your own pleasure. But I would recommend you not to watch, because if you see something visually, then it just kind of sticks in your mind, and then it just, it's not something that you want. Also, there are these really wonderful documentaries, like I've talked about on YouTube, which you can have a look at to understand more about Troy and its placement on the world map. And you can also have. I'll share it with you. I'll share it with you. Just a second. Yeah, so also there are these really long and detailed family, trees. these kind of these really long videos on YouTube, around 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, which you can have a look at after the class. That will be that talk to you in detail about where the gods are, where the gods from, what is the family tree of the gods, etc. So because you couldn't see it before, let me just share it again with you. So these are the two, wait, let me just share it. So these are the two vases that I was talking about, that this is the script, right? This is the script over here. I hope you can see it. This is the script, and this is the Nestor cup. This is the Nestor's cup, and there's another vase that you can say talk about the a representation of Iliad, right? So these are the two artifacts that may connect to the real or the perhaps imaginary world of Homer. All right, and now let's have a look at the particular video that I wanted to show you. Yeah, just a second, I'll just show you the video that I wanted you to see. And I think that will give you an idea more or less about the history. So yeah, just a second, hold on. Please share the WhatsApp links on at 12 o'clock when the class ends, right? Because that will be the time I'll join. Yeah, so this is the particular video that I wanted you to see. Wait a second. Yeah. Is the screen visible before I hit play? Can you look at the screen and tell me if it's visible? Yes or no would suffice. Ria, if EVRU is mentioned, then sure, you can download that particular book as well. It's all right. Like I've said, there are many translations available. So if EVRU is mentioned, then you can definitely download that particular text also. Maybe it is mentioned because the SOL material was built on that. Like every person is using a different translation, right? So the teacher who perhaps wrote that material was referring to that particular translation by EBRU. Okay, and if you want, you can definitely download that. So there's hardly any difference. Okay, so it's entirely up to you which text you find on Google, right? Yeah, so let's have a look at this particular video. Yeah. What? There was no sound? There was no sound and you watched the entire video without sound? Okay. Anyway, so I've shared the link with you. The sound was very much, I think it was audible. There must be some issue then. I don't know. So I have shared with you. And the thing that you need to remember, like I've said, is that with Iliad and with particularly European classical text, not so much with Indian classical text, I will warn you that there is a lot of literature available on these particular texts, right? And you don't have to get confused. You need to choose the right amount of information that you need, okay? Because there's a lot of information present. Like I've said, there is information. Like, you know, you can see videos, you can see films, you can see documentaries, and you can read a lot of texts too. So I don't want you to feel bombarded with a lot of information. And why didn't anyone tell me this before when I was sharing it with you, that there was no sound? I do not understand how quietly you were watching it without the sound. So, wow. I am stunned at this beautiful reception of the video, but please watch it, okay? And I will share the video, the documentary of the video too. Now let's move to towards the gods, right? Just a second. So let me just give you a brief description about what the religious background of the text was like. Okay, and this is will be talked about in the coming classes in detail because this is important to us and this is a question that often comes in exams also. So the gods of the Iliad have an independent existence, all right, which is accepted without question by all the characters and assumed by the narrative. All right, so they're very much part of the narrative, unlike what we see in Mahabharata or what we see in other Indian texts, right? Can someone give me an example of how the gods are, or what is the position of gods in Indian classical texts, right? There is a mention of Krishna, definitely. Um, See, what I would highly recommend you to be very clear because, like I've said, the European classical literature paper is quite heavy, right? It is quite heavy in terms of the text and the information that is available on the World Wide Web. So I want you to just figure out what are these particular, information that you will be relying on. All right, and just follow that information because the more information you read, the more information you get from other sources, the more confused you're going to be, right? So I am going to try to give you material that is to the point, that will only help you, sorry, not only, that will help you in getting the idea of what the text is about. All right, because you will get confused a lot. Like in Elango Adhikal, no, for other topics as well. So not topics. I was just watching the chat box. Um, yeah, for other, I was asking what is the position of gods in Indian classical epics that you have studied? Do they make an appearance? Or do you hear them, talking, or do you hear them, being a part? Sorry, do you see them being a part of the narrative? That is the question. Yes, Krishna was part of the of Arjun. Yes, that is what I wanted to hear. Yeah. Yeah. So do you see Krishna actually being part of the text? That is what the question is. Yeah, the film's name is Troy, starring Brad Pitt and Eric Bana. Please don't watch it. Please don't watch it. That's what I'm saying. Krishna was supporting the Pandavas. Siddhi, yeah. But is he going to make an appearance in the war, or is he going to like support or show his support to a particular warrior? Agni Devta, yeah. Rupali says Agni Devta, yes. Lord Hanuman is also there. But what I want you to know is that Sonal has pointed it out, yes, that they are very much there, but they're at the background of the narrative. They're not taking part in the battle, they're not taking part in what is going to happen next, right? And it is always seen that here in Iliad, they are gods, but they're very much like mere mortals. That are full of jealousies, that are full of sentiments, emotional sentiments, and that is what is coloring their. नहीं हुआ है, अभी परसों ही क्लास थी, कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, पता नहीं इस बार क्या चल रहा है।
यहाँ से तो सब ठीक है, नेटवर्क इशू सब ठीक है
चल रहा है क्योंकि वो मुझे दिखता है. So I think someone has responded to the question that I was asking. Gods are not represented, but not as a character in the narrative, but they are in the background, giving suggestions. Yeah. So here too, they are in a way giving suggestions, but they're also very. The idea is that their judgments are colored by their own personal rivalries. All right, so that is something that is different among that is the major difference between Indian classical texts and this particular text that we are doing right now, Iliad. Here again, Priya also says gods are helping the epics by directly or indirectly, also only those who are following the good path. All right. Krishna was in a supportive role. Yeah, that is what I was asking, that he was in a supportive role. He never really became a part of the war. He never really became a part of the battle. But he knows what was going to happen, doesn't want to take his part, I guess, again. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to hear. So yeah, so what was I saying, that here they are almost characters in themselves, all right? They're articulated as rational, comprehensible, anthropomorphic, like they're very humanized, right? Beings separate from men and women from one another, each with his or her individual temperament, sphere, and attributes, right? Which are expressed in mythical terms, more striking for their lucidity than for the mystery or irrationality that are associated with myths in other culture, right? More striking for their lucidity than for the mystery or irrationality that are associated with myths in other culture, right? We always believe that they are gods, like